I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, King Philip, and welcome to our first 2017 edition of Wake Up Warriors. A fresh start to a new year is a time of optimism and expectation. We hope that's how you are feeling with midterm exams coming in a little over 2 weeks. Be brave, have faith, and study. 2016 was a tough year. Many media outlets have pinned it as the worst year ever. We don't know if it deserves that bad of a title, but we surely did lose a lot of influential and beloved people.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
The people who pass on never truly leave us. Their actions stay behind, leaving a lasting imprint on all who knew them. Deaths of those in the limelight remind us of their greatest achievements, whether they be sports stars, musicians, authors, actors, philanthropists, or politicians. Their work inspires us. The legacies those who go before us become constellations, never ceasing to light the path. Within their life's purpose, we can draw meaning and learn important lessons. From David Bowie, we learn the importance of being oneself. No matter what, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. Harper Lee taught us how to spin the truth in a way that compels all to listen. Prince taught us to deliberately defy the norm. There's a little rebel in all of us. He said, a strong spirit transcends rules. In life and death, Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds exemplify the power of unconditional love and the prevailing bond between mothers and their children. Arnold Palmer taught us that silence is golden and showed the world the value of consistency, hard work, and fun, all things that make for a better golf game and a better life. Zsa Zsa Gabor gave us the gift of knowing our self-worth, for it does not make us vain as it does make us unbreakable. Alan Rickman taught us that people can change, and there is much more to an individual than they will ever show you. Muhammad Ali floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee. Success can come from the most unlikely of places, with passion, dedication, and hard work. And Nancy Reagan's strength in the wake of her husband's death proves how resilient we can be when we have to, and that life goes on. In darkness, we find new light as we discover the lessons our heroes leave behind. We must pick up the treasured pieces of knowledge they left for us and work toward finishing the puzzle they worked so hard to begin.
We recently aired part 1 of our series on the worst case of animal abuse in the history of the Northeast that happened in Westport, Massachusetts this past summer. We introduced you to Detective Jeffrey Majewski, who investigated the cruelty case when it first emerged in 2010. There were hundreds of animals in deplorable conditions, some suffering, and some were already dead. However, our state animal welfare officials chose to let the people that were charged with animal cruelty walk away without penalty. Majewski, who had remarked in 2010 that he was greatly affected by what he had seen, found himself standing in a dreadfully familiar place. In the midst of the July 2016 heat wave, the Westport police were once again called to 465 American Legion Highway by someone claiming that 18 of their goats had been killed. When Majewski arrived, he was confronted with the sounds of anguish and the smell of death.
either got tangled up in something at one point that wrapped around its leg or was tied at one point by the leg, and it turned the rest of the hoof or the rest of the foot area necrotic. Part of his leg, the leg was dead. That animal needed to be euthanized. It's worse than it was in 2010, so the town should be ashamed that this was allowed to continue. It's deplorable.
When police arrived on the scene, they discovered over 1,400 animals in varying states of distress and illness. In addition to the thousands of suffering animals who were alive, there were numerous dead animals that perished in the terrifying condition. The Animal Rescue League of Boston rushed to the aid of the animals. The League's lead veterinarian estimated that the animals had been living like this since the case in 2010 was dismissed, and said, "This is the worst I've ever seen as far as scale and conditions." Westport Police Detective Jeffrey Majewski, who worked the original 2010 case, was quick to place part of the blame on the town's Board of Health. Outraged by the fact that this abuse could have been prevented had the Board of Health continued to monitor the property after the case 6 years ago. Majewski said, "We need other town departments like the Board of Health to step in and monitor these situations before they can become huge disasters like this." Animals were gradually removed by the ASPCA and other animal rescue organizations. It was a huge ordeal for the thousands of animals to be moved to the temporary shelters that were set up and let them receive the care they needed. Finally, 3 weeks after the initial investigation, all the animals, except a few, had been transferred by the people that were there working 24/7 to aid in the rescue efforts. Unfortunately, many animals had to be euthanized because their conditions were untreatable due to the abuse they received. One goat was just recently checked out of Tufts after being in veterinary care for 6 months. Many tenants also initially refused to surrender ownership rights of their animals. So how did this happen? How does a state with such highly regarded animal welfare rights let something on this large of a scale repeat itself? Join us next week when we expose more details and possible corruption in our state's animal welfare system.
The Attorney General is still reviewing the indictment of 22 people in this case. Animal welfare advocates are counting on justice. However, whether it will be served this time remains to be seen. A little over 6 hours from now, many of us will be scurrying to the parking lot ready to hit the road for our weekend adventures. But before you roll on out of here, there is one very important thing you should do, and it will only take you 5 minutes.
There are over 1,500 students here at King Philip Regional High School, and safety is a big priority. In a recent survey, they found that 624 cars and 15 buses enter the school every day. A survey has been distributed to the community. It takes no more than 5 minutes, and it asks parents and students what their views are on the parking situation and what can be done to improve it.
What do you think are the problems in the parking lot?
All right, well, I don't have any problems in the morning because I get here early, but in the afternoon, over by the tennis courts, they need a policeman right there because all you students should take a left coming out of there. It's a right only. And I'm on the horn every day because people take a left and they take all the downtime. Right only, right only, right only.
Do you have a problem with the parking lot?
Yes, I do.
Can you explain some of the issues you think?
The students drive too quickly. They don't look when they are crossing from the parking lot into the school. They just go, so it puts me as the driver of a car on edge. And I feel like the students have this invincibility about them and that they come first and not looking and driving just any way they want. And getting out at the end of the day is totally impossible in the front.
I personally think in the parking lot that the parents and the adults are way worse than the kids. Like, not necessarily speed-wise, but they do not follow the rules, like the unspoken rules in the parking lot at all. Like, kids, we always let each other go, usually like on every car. Like, if someone lets you go, you'll let the next person go and that sort of stuff so we can get out faster. But like, parents just like drive right by in like their minivans, like going to get their kids. And like, I definitely think they are a lot worse in the parking lot, and they're part of the issue.
You have until the end of the day to fill out the survey. Go to the King Philip website and share your concerns and your input.
Right only, right only, right only.
If you simply go to the King Philip website, you will see that survey link on the home page. And again, today is the last day you'll have this opportunity. And once you have done it, you'll be free to go about your business. Have a great weekend, KP.